All right, so you probably clicked on this video thinking, all right, here is some guru trying to pretend that he's not a guru while he then goes to sell me his $997 course with some new Facebook ads hack that's going to get me a 14x ROAS. And it's going to be super easy. You just got to sell these digital products, or maybe you slap AI onto it and call it a day. Well, it's not, and I'm going to prove it to you. Because in this video, I'm just going to be literally showing you my screen and show you exactly how I ran the ads that took me past $200,000 per month, how I'm running ads for the 90 plus different businesses that I run ads for, along with the full process so you can just copy it. Now, at least to my knowledge, this is something that gurus don't do. Now, to start, I'm going to do something that gurus definitely don't do, which is just show you my actual dashboards for both my business and some of my clients. All right, so first off, here's my ad account. As you can see, here are the ads that we're running. And if you want to see the actual results that we've been able to generate, month to date, so far we've done $178,000, $179,000 cash collected. And we've actually dropped our ad spend by 60%. Yes, we only spent about $21,000 on ads this month. We spent literally half the month without any closers, or actually only one part-time closer on our team. Despite that, as you can see, we were able to get an 8.6x, almost a 9x return on ad spend and book 162 calls. All right, so here's actually another ad account on rather low spend. They actually only spent $7,500 Canadian dollars this month. And despite that, I'll show you some of the results we've gotten right here. So this client here, they sell very high ticket. It's about $100,000. They closed 2 of them this month. So that's about $200,000. And they actually in the process of closing a $2.5 million deal as a result of these ads. So as you can see, as we were showing earlier, about $7,500, and you can see the return that we were able to get on this. Now, this one right here is actually one of the ad accounts for another one of the clients that I've been working with that actually just recently surpassed $50,000 per month in cash collected. They're a plumbing agency, $160 cost per call. And you can see the results we've been able to get for this client here. This is another client here. As you can see, insanely low spend, like literally only spent $500. Despite that, getting $20 calls. And they've added about $15,000 to $20,000 per month in new cash just from this $500 in spend, about 2 to 3 clients. I'm actually doing an interview with this person on my channel soon. This is another one here. They've done about $40,000 or $50,000 from this campaign. We'll do maximum as well. So they've spent about 9,000 here. They've done about 40 or 50K in cash collected, and that's also 9,000 Canadian dollars. So you're looking at about $7,000 to $6,000 American as to what they've spent on ads. So as you can see, just going through a whole bunch more clients here, you can see all the cost per book call. Every single one of these clients are running a $5,000 to $25,000 offer, and we pretty much average about 5 to 10x return on investment amongst all of our clients when doing their ad campaigns. All right, so in order to get these results that you get, and if you want to just do this for yourself without having to work with us, get these same kind of results, there's a few key things that you do. So number one is you have a really good offer. I'm going to walk you through how to use AI to create a really good offer. It's going to take you like 5 to 10 minutes. That's about it. Then number two is to find which ads that you can just copy. So you don't have to like sit there and like make a whole bunch of ads yourself. You can just copy what's already working. I'm going to show you where to find the ads that you should copy and then like just how to copy them. Number three, you need a simple opt-in funnel. Again, better off just copying somebody that's already working instead of putting in all the work to try and figure out how to do it yourself. And then lastly, you need to go through a testing and a scaling phase. Super simple. I'm going to break it down for you. Even a monkey will going to be able to understand it in the way that I break it down for you. And then the final thing is some data tracking setup. Super simple, just a couple numbers that you want to keep on track of. And then if for whatever reason these numbers are below track and like they're not really is doing as well as you want them to be, just a few simple things that you can do to make sure that they are back on track. And, obviously this ends up working out and you can make money just like we have and just like all of our clients have as well. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do here is create a good offer. So like, how do you actually make a good offer, right? Like, what is a good offer? What is the guarantee? What does that look like? I'll tell you, it's none of that. A good offer is when you sell something that people actually want to buy. For example, if you so happen to be able to sell masks during COVID, or when COVID was first came out, it was like, oh, a big scary thing. Like you could have the worst marketing, you could be overpriced, you could suck at sales, but you would still completely sell out, right? Just because you're selling something that's in very high demand, right? So instead of going down the rabbit hole of Alex Ramosi this, Alex Ramosi that, buzzword this, just sell something that people actually want to buy. So then the next question is like, okay, well, how do we know what people actually want to buy? That's where AI comes in, right? Essentially, when you look at this, when you create an offer that is in very high supply, right? Which is like if you're selling like Facebook ads to real estate agents, like there's a million people selling Facebook ads in very high supply. That means demand goes very low. Therefore, the only offers that work is when you offer to work for free. Then you deal with shit clients, and it's like impossible to make any money. Alternatively, you sell something that not many people offer, right? Like supply very low, right? What happens? Demand's very high, right? And that's how our clients are selling $5, $10, $15, $25,000 offers to random businesses and whatnot, and making a whole lot of money, even though they're only spending like $20, $30 a day on ads, some of them. Okay, so there's two different ways to do this, right? Number one is we have an untapped niche and a simple service delivery, right? So this is when we choose a market that has high demand and low supply for service providers that can help solve a problem that they're facing. And then the other one is when we go after a saturated niche, but we have an untapped service delivery. So what that looks like is when we enter an established market, like you're looking at your real estate, your gyms, your med spas, etc., and you offer a solution for them to achieve a desired result that is in higher demand and, more importantly, low supply. Okay, so I have two just simple prompts that you can copy here, right? So this is the first one that I'll always do, right? So what I'll do here is I'll just come over to ChatGPT and I'll paste this right here. Okay, and so what this looks like, right? I have a marketing agency targeting niche, right? Offering service delivery, and need to know the following. You are not allowed to guess, only give data and research back answers. It's very important as I get this right. So these are the things that we're looking for when we're creating an offer. Does the niche painfully struggle with solving the problem that you have? Right? Does the niche actually struggle with getting clients, for example? Right? Do they have extremely high demand for people that can get them clients? Right? Those are two things that you want to check. Right? Then the next thing is like, can you actually get them results with this current skills that you have? Right? So if you are really good at running Facebook ads, right, you want to make sure that A, they have a struggle with getting clients, B, they have very high demand for solving this problem because it's causing them a lot of pain, and C, based on the skills you already have, you're going to be able to get them results, right? Next, you want to make sure that there's very few people actually targeting them and offering these types of services, because if there's a million of them, right, doesn't matter if they're in high demand, you can have a tough time selling it because they've been burned in the past and all these problems, right? And then you also want to make sure that there's a lot of them, right? So ideally over 100,000 in Canada, UK, and US. And then lastly, you want to make sure that they have a high purchasing power and could easily afford $10,000 service fees. Now, before ChatGPT and stuff, you'd be sitting here for hours, days, weeks trying to figure out this information. But now I just like to turn on search. I like to turn on deep research, and I like to use the advanced reasoning features. And you can get the answers to these questions in just a couple of minutes, right? Now, the second thing that you do is if you already have a market, this is a super valuable one, right? This is a very good one here as well, right? This one right here. Okay, so this is another offer that I like to do and another way that I like to create these offers, right? I have a business targeting niche. So I have a business targeting, let's say we go med spas, right? Can you give me a list of problems they face that meet the following criteria? They have extremely high demand to be solved. First criteria. Very few agency owners and freelancers are offering to solve that problem for them. It would be worth $50,000 to have them solved. Give me your top 10 reasons and why. And then what I'll typically do with this is I'll let this go, and then it's going to give me a bunch of reasons, right? This is really quick. I would definitely turn on search and use some advanced reasoning. So it's going to actually give you more accurate and, better, more valuable answers, I guess you could say. But then once you've done this, I was like, okay, my skills are Facebook ads, AI, and automations. Which one of these problems could I solve with current skills, right? So then what I'll do with this is it'll give me some examples, right? For example, these high intent problems that are worth a lot of money to people, right, that I can solve with my current skills, right? Because the thing is like if you just go to market and you're just like, hey, I'll help you get more leads, everybody's offering that, and that's why your cost per call is $300, and that's why it's so hard to make Facebook ads work, right? The thing about actually getting results with Facebook ads, very small percentage of it, like we'll get into what it looks like to run a Facebook ad, but like you look at any of my clients' campaigns, it's just like, it's pretty simple. It's just like a basic campaign, a few ad sets with different creatives in it, and like that's it. Some basic ad copy too, like nothing like overwhelmingly powerful, like nothing like overwhelmingly crazy, and this is an insanely profitable campaign, right? Like this is, our clients very happy with this. They've given us great reviews, testimonials, like all that kind of stuff. They've made a lot of money. They've completely transformed their life, right, as a result of this campaign. But very little to do with the success of this campaign has come down to it. It's more importantly to the research that we did before when we created their offer. Okay, and that's we just simply followed these ChatGPT prompts like this to find things that are in very high demand with very low supply. Now, the next thing that we do is we just like copy winning ads that works. So one of the things that I do for my clients is I'll just copy my own winning ads that works. But like, let's say you're not working with me or you're doing this on your own. all you have to do is like, let's just go to all ads, come over here to Facebook ads library. Let's say we're targeting med spas, right? We'll do med spas, and then we'll do guarantee using a keyword that like an agency owner is probably running, right? And then all I will do is I will just scroll down, right? And then let's go to, when was these posts? December 16, 2024, right? Want more micro needling clients to your beauty clinic? Okay, if this ad has been running and active since December 16th, 2024, it's probably a winning ad, right? You look at any one of these that have been running for a while, right? Like this one here has been running since March 5th, probably a winning ad. So what you do is like, okay, let me just download this, let me take this transcript, and let me just like rewrite it for my business because this is already a winning ad, right? So why would I go there? Like it's just super simple, right? You come over to here, okay, the copy. Let me just take this copy and let me just like rewrite it for my own business. How simple is that? Okay, so then the next thing that we want to do is we want to send people to a booking page, right? Well, what do they do on the booking page? We have it super simple, right? You literally just have a landing page. It's just white. You don't even need a ton of information on it. Put your logo up there, call out who you're talking to, make your offer, give them more context as to your offer, put in a VSL, a video explaining what it is that you do, and ask them if they want to learn more information, right? Because the thing is that when you have a really good offer that is in very high demand and solves a pain point that's worth like $50,000 to $100,000 to the business if you solve it, that they're actively struggling with, and very few people have offered to solve this problem before in the past, like this stuff can be incredibly simple, right? Like let me show you this example right here, right? I come over to here. Let's look at this one right here, right? We come over to here. We scroll down to this. Right here we go. Let's look at this client. Guaranteed 20 plus new clients in 90 days and free staff sourcing or you pay nothing, right? A big problem that these people have is A, getting more clients, but then B, getting the staff to source the clients, right? So this isn't the prettiest landing page, right? I have a very weird shaped computer and size computer. So it's like kind of, it's like, it looks super weird on this. It looks much better on mobile or even like a normal computer. But as you can see, like just putting in exactly what we do, and because it's especially talking about this, which is something that was a big pain point in this industry, these guys are getting really good results, right? And nothing too crazy, that's for sure. All right, so now we'll get into how to actually like run and manage your account, how to do the media buying. And it's like super simple. All you have to do is, let's say you have like 5 different ads, 5 different creatives, they're all different, right? All you do is you create one testing campaign, and then you create 5 different ad sets and you put each creative into each ad set, right? So you're gonna have 1, maybe 2. If you have similar types of creatives, you can put them all into the similar ad set and whatnot. But essentially what you're gonna be doing is you wanna be, segregating the ad sets so you can allocate the same amount of money to different ads, and then you can see which ads are your winners and which ads are your losers. See, in the beginning, if you put all of your ads into one ad set, right, Facebook isn't going to spend equally, and then you're not really going to be able to see easily which ones are winners and which ones are losers, right? Then once you spent about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 on that, you can be like, okay, like these 3 ads did very well for me, these 2 ads didn't, right? But the thing is, what you're going to notice during this phase is because Facebook isn't getting enough data to a single ad set to stabilize it. So what's going to happen at this time is you're going to see volatility, right? Like sometimes leads are going to be good, sometimes leads are going to be bad. There's going to be high cost per call. That's why you got to spend a little bit of money so it like balances out and you can kind of get an average. Then you want to take your top 20 to 30% of ads. You want to throw them into one campaign with one ad set, right? And then have them all in there. And then you want to allocate 80% of your spend to that. And then what that's going to do is it's going to allow Facebook to get enough data to a single ad set to get those 50 conversions. So you exit the learning phase, and then you get the stable, consistent growth. And then the biggest bottleneck in the business isn't your marketing, but it's how many of these leads can you actually close and how many of these leads can you actually fulfill, which is the biggest problem that we have to help with our clients after like 2 to 3 months of running their ads. All right, now the last thing that we have to do, and like this is extremely important, is you have to track all the data. Because if you don't do this, it's literally like trying to drive a car with your eyes closed, right? You might have your foot on the gas, but you don't know where you're going. So the way that we look at this is like, okay, let's look at this as like a big chain link. Like imagine this, it's like a big chain link. And then way over here, we have like, what is your link click-through rate? Which means like if 1,000 people see the ad or if 100 people see the ad, how many people are like clicking on it, right? And then all the way back over here, we have like, what is the ascension rate and what is the churn rate of the business, right? Then we have like link click-through rate. Then we have like opt-in rate. Then we have like scheduling rate. then we have show rate, then we have close rate, and we have all these metrics, right? Well, each one of these metrics are like a chain inside of the business. Now, if we have a high click-through rate, if we have a high opt-in rate, if we have a high booking rate, if we have a high show rate, and if we have a high close rate, and if we have a low churn rate, well, guess what? You make a lot of money, like hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Okay, and that's obviously what we want to do if we're watching this video. Then, therefore, explain simply, if we then just track each individual chain and we're not making as much money as we want to make, then we just look at the data and be like, oh shit, our link click-through rate is the problem. That's below KPI. So then we just test new headlines and we focus on new ads, right? We come up with some new ads, come up with some new headlines, and try and get our link click-through rate. Or if our opt-in rate is low, we know the problem is on the landing page, right? So then we just spend the next week optimizing the landing page, running split tests until we get that landing page opt-in rate back up to where we want it to be. Or maybe we have a good link click-through rate and we have a good opt-in rate, but people aren't booking. Well, then we need to optimize the calendar booking page, right? Because people clearly aren't interested once they're booking there. So then we optimize that. And then as you can see, the process repeats for any part of the funnel, right? And then we just look at this, we just look at the data, and we're like, oh shit, this is the problem in our business. Let's spend the next week fixing this, right? If we don't know how to fix it, let's ask somebody that knows how to do. Let's watch a couple of YouTube videos. You just repeat this process week over week over week over week. And that's how you find yourself a couple of years later making a few $100,000 a month. So if you want, you can go buy a fancy watch and flex a Lamborghini. Or if you don't, you can just chill knowing that like you're like safe, you're like secure. You don't have to like stress about money, which is kind of a cool thing as well. Okay, so that was a full overview of the stupidly simple process that we use to make decent money, pretty good money, a lot more than the average person, that's for sure, using Facebook ads for both us, for both our clients, and even the people that we've been able to help just through these YouTube. But if you want to know like specifically how we make the creatives, I recommend that you watch this video. And I talk about how to use AI to make ads that can literally guarantee you profit in 60 seconds. AI is a massive revolutionary tool. It's helped a lot. So watch this video. I guarantee that you won't regret it. If you have any comments or questions about this, leave it below and I'll personally respond. And other than that, I'll see you guys in the next video.